Hey you guys, in today's video I am making pork hash. It's one of my husband's most requested pupus. You might also know it as siumai. I think it's the same thing, but anyways, in Hawaii it's all over the place. If you moved away from the islands, you might have to figure out how to make it on your own. That's what I had to do. So in today's video I'm going to show you how I do it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. They're pretty simple to make, so let's get right to it. So I have I think this is a pound of ground pork, and I've cut up this 2 green onions, putting that in there, and I'm going to be cutting up this 8 ounces of water chestnut, and I'm just going to be dicing it. So now that that's all cut up, I'm going to also put that in to my ground pork. And this is a double batch. I'll most likely be freezing it because every time I do a half batch, my water chestnut goes bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, because I only use half a can of the water chestnut, and so then I have to, anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a full batch and freeze half of it. I'm also going to be adding an egg into here. And we're going to be adding some minced shrimp. So this is the amount of the shrimp that I'm going to be using here, and I'm just going to try to get a mince on here. You want different textures, some of it finer and some of it a little bit bigger. So you can put this in like a food processor if you wanted to. I don't have a food processor, but I like the little chunks of different sized shrimp in here. So I'm going to finish rough chopping this. So I'm going to add this also to my mixture here. Now that it's all chopped up, and then I'm going to start adding the flavorings, which is all the usual suspects. I'm going to be adding in here a couple tablespoons, about 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, and that's all I have in this bottle. I'm going to be adding a little bit of soy sauce, probably about a tablespoon as well, or about a tablespoon and a half. And I'm also going to be adding oyster sauce. So I just got this big old thing from the restaurant supply, and I divided it up and it gave me 2 quarts. There's still a lot left over in here. But I'm going to also be adding about 2 tablespoons worth of oyster sauce. And then I will mix this up. And the only other thing we'll need for this recipe is some gyoza wrappers. This is the circle wrappers. And I'm going to mix this all up. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of some mirin. And if you don't have this, you can opt out. A lot of times I don't have this. It's just going to be a little bit. But this goes good in a lot of Asian type cooking too, but it's definitely not a necessity. I make it without this all the time because I just barely got this bottle. I've been out for a while. So I'm just going to give this a good mix. Also adding a little bit of black pepper. Probably say like a teaspoon. And about a half a teaspoon of salt, and probably like a spoonful of cornstarch. Sometimes I forget to add cornstarch, and it still works. Stir this in. So before I start wrapping my pork hash, I'm going to fry off a little bit of this just to make sure that I like the taste. So I'll wait for that to fry. I think my pan's not that hot. And then we can start wrapping. Huh?
Can I eat another one?
Yes. So I forgot to show you, you want to mix this really well so that way it will like emulsify together. It'll kind of like bind more together. The fat will start becoming more airy, I guess, or more just emulsified. Waiting for this to cool off. Looks pretty good. Smells good.
Stop plugging ears. She said plug ears.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. These are not sharp at all. Yes?
Are some people can't see anything?
Mm-hmm.
Some people do.
Mm-hmm. So, you just put a little bit of the filling in, about a tablespoon. And this should fit into the shape of your hand, like this. Something like that. I like it when it's kind of overfilling. I'm gonna put a little bit more. So like that. And then the bottom is flat. So we can put that in our steamer. If you guys like these videos and would like to see more, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Okay, so I've got 5 on this tray, and I'm gonna go ahead and steam them for about 12 to 15 minutes, and then I will show you what they look like when they're done. So the siomai is almost done, the pork hash, and I'm gonna put, I have this Chinese hot mustard and just a little bit of water. I would mix it normally with shoyu, but what happened is it does taste a little bit salty, so I'm just gonna mix this with just water. So here is the pork hash after it came out. I will put it onto a plate and serve it with the hot mustard, Chinese hot mustard. So hot. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How does that look?
Perfect.
Is that good?
Perfect. Another thing that would be easier too is to have parchment paper or wax paper, either one, on each thing, each pork hash, so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the steamer.
Oh, makes sense.
And that's the recipe. It's really easy, and a lot of times I'll make the full batch that I make and I'll freeze half of it. I haven't tried pre-making them, wrapping them in the gyoza wrappers and then freezing it. Maybe that would work, but I usually just keep the filling separate and freeze the wrappers separately, and then when the time comes I defrost it and make it. So anyways, that's the recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and Thank you so much for watching.